Is this the best winning issue right now for Democrats?
For Democrats, this is the best winning issue for them. And, we've seen recent polling that shows this is a top issue for voters. I believe in the latest Siena College poll, it was the second most driving issue for voters. And so, this is not an issue that pre-Dobbs was a motivating issue, particularly for swing voters. For most Americans, it was the kind of thing that was more in the back of their mind and maybe more motivating for the base of both parties. But since the Dobbs decision, this has become a crucial issue. And, we see the economy and immigration continue to be top issues, particularly the economy. But this is the issue that Democrats are favored on. Voters still trust Republicans more to handle immigration and to the economy. But in terms of abortion issues and issues of reproductive access more generally, Democrats are favored.
Well, it's interesting. There are a couple of numbers that really underscore what you're saying. One of them from that Siena poll from over the weekend. Among young women, 18 to 29, in the 6 swing states they follow, in August, an astonishing 38-point advantage for Kamala Harris. You don't see numbers like that very often. Axios also included today the number of U.S. women registered to vote is typically 7 to 10 million more than the number of men, according to the Center for American Women and Politics. You put those together here. Is this why Donald Trump is having trouble crystallizing a message on abortion?
Yeah, I think so. And, we have seen largely across demographic subgroups, the gender gap has widened. It's not just with white voters, but also with black voters and Hispanic voters. We are seeing the voters that Trump is doing better with tend to be men across all subgroups.
You just wonder if he keeps a hard line on abortion. He cannot obviously win the female vote. And women, based on these numbers, will decide the election.
Well, and he has tried to moderate on the issue relative to where most of the Republican Party is at. And we have seen a lot of pro-life activists have expressed frustration with him because of that. And so I think that could matter for some swing voters, the fact that he has tried to differentiate himself and run to the center a little bit more on this issue and kind of just defer to the states. But this is clearly still a winning issue for Democrats. We're not just seeing Harris run on it. We're seeing Democrats running for House and Senate races and state legislative races. And we're also seeing the fact that this is going to be on the ballot directly in several states, which could be another driver of voter turnout. We saw in the midterm cycle, the places that had abortion-related ballot initiatives, turnout was higher for Democratic and independent voters.
Well, as we're talking about some of those other candidates who aren't just the ones running for president, obviously there has been a narrative within the Democratic Party that the enthusiasm Kamala Harris has generated has translated to other candidates down the ballot. Have you actually changed your numbers specifically on what control of the House will look like? We've asked, for example, Susan DelBene, the chair of the DCCC, if she's changing her numbers, and they keep saying we only need 4. Is it going to be 4? Could it be materially more than 4 as you see it now?
It could be, but I think the most likely gain is still going to be in the single digits for either party. It's true, Democrats have the momentum right now in the House, but we still see at the end of the day that it's probably going to come down to a couple dozen races that are quite competitive and where neither party has a clear advantage. So we have recently moved 6 races in Democrats' favor in competitive districts, and we moved 2 races in Republicans' favor. So, largely that shows a little bit of a shift towards Democrats, but we still see neither party has a clear advantage. Currently, Democrats are favored in 203 races. Republicans are favored in 208 races. So that leaves 24 races in the toss-up category. So the momentum, obviously is helpful, particularly for fundraising. We have seen a huge burst in fundraising for down-ballot Democrats, and they were already outperforming Republicans in a lot of these races. So that is only going to continue to help.
Well, are you moving those races in the direction of Democrats, though, because of the Kamala Harris effect only, or should I say not Joe Biden at the top of the ticket?
Not Joe Biden is probably the better way to put it. Yes, I mean, we have seen, not just after the debate, but before the debate, Biden was trailing where he was in 2020 in these districts pretty significantly. There were districts that Biden carried by double digits in 2020 that he was tied with Trump in or even losing to Trump. So that would have had a detrimental effect on Democrats' ability to take back the House. Now we have seen Harris is coming close to or matching or in a couple of cases actually even overperforming where Biden's 2020 margin was at in these districts. And that's really going to matter because control of the House really rests on the national environment. And if the national environment is better for Democrats, or at least even, that will help them significantly.
Well, as we consider the national environment, that often also means the economic environment, which is an area. And if you're looking at the New York Times Siena polling, where you see the advantage for Harris, Donald Trump has a 13-point advantage on the issue of the economy. So especially as we consider these districts in which it is so close, in which it could be either way, as you're considering what toss-ups are, is that actually at the end of the day where the unemployment rate is when people go to the polls? Is that going to be the deciding factor, not just potentially for the presidency, but for the balance of Congress?
It could be. And I think just largely cost of living in general has been a crucial issue for voters. And it's why, even if the economy is doing well by other indicators, we still see that Democrats are struggling to communicate to voters that they're a party that will be good for them on the economy. And so I think, we have seen, Democratic voters are talking a lot about abortion and about Trump in a lot of their ads, but we're also seeing them tackle cost of living issues because that is still the dominating issue for voters.